Hi, I'm Leigh-Chantelle from VivaLaVegan.net, and today I'm here with Daniel Hennessey, a local activist from Brisbane in Australia. How are you, Dan?
Thank you.
That's good. And tell me about your journey to veganism.
I think when I first started, I was a little bit aware about animal testing. I find now it's a great sort of core, sort of gateway issue to get talking about other things and sort of spread the seed a little bit. But I did construction work at a slaughterhouse for 6 months, and I saw some pretty brutal things that are definitely hidden from the public, and it was a very horrific place to see. I was offered to see it from start to finish, from the holding pens, which are out for 4 to 5 days, sort of starved of water and food in the sun, to pretty much the finished product when it ends up in packaging.
What animals was that?
It was cows.
Yep.
Yeah, it was only cows at this place. And yeah, just saw some horrible things from them. Even just little things from them. Just seeing them crying, to be really afraid of people because they could sense it. But yeah, it's in no way humane like it is to claim to be. I saw several pretty horrific events, and I guess sort of that planted the seed. Long term, it did take 2 or 3 months at least till I started actually making the connection and getting a bit of compassion. And then pretty much towards the end I went vegetarian. I did have a bit of a relapse, but what really confirmed my belief is, obviously I've got a lot of animals here. I was on the way to work one morning and I found the cat, and it had obviously just been hit. It was still twitching, but maybe from the car tire, it had actually taken a bit of its fur off, and I could see the meat under the cat, and it was still moving, and I saw it as a piece of meat. But at the same time, I saw the cat, and that's what made the connection. And I remember thinking that I may as well be eating my own animals if I'm going to eat meat, and that's something I wouldn't do. So that I could never eat red meat after that again, and that's what sort of really confirmed it for me.
And how long ago was that?
That was probably about 5 years ago. So I went vegetarian. I was vegetarian for quite some time and started getting really into animal rights after all sort of that had happened, and I decided that if I was going to be an animal activist, I needed to stop being hypocritical, because I was still consuming dairy and eggs occasionally. So I decided to go see a screening of Earthlings, and
it's the vegan maker, isn't it?
The vegan maker. Yeah, I think I actually went into shock when I was watching it. I noticed I started jolting, and I just went very blank after crying for a while, and got home just full of rage, anger, and vegan the next day, and I had to sort of learn how to, I guess, harness that anger. I lost a few friends because I was too aggressive with that anger, but since I've learned to sort of harness the way I approach people about it.
And what are some tips for that? To use the anger in a positive way, or
yeah, I guess to realise it doesn't do much. I think you sort of just have to remember that you were there once. I guess I get angry when a lot of people are more ignorant and don't want to learn about it. But since not seeing some of those friends, a couple of people that I would never ever have thought to go vegetarian or vegan have, and one of them was probably the most hypocritical about it. So I mean, some people can get there, but I think the really aggressive in your face tactics doesn't work. But just to be more factual, and I find, especially because I'm a construction worker and people see that I'm energetic all day, if I bring a really healthy lunch, they're sort of they question me about it, and they ask a lot about it, how good it looks, and are very surprised that can keep me going so energetic all day. But yeah, I guess just try and stay relaxed when getting through to people, and don't let the ignorance get to you.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got quite a few tattoos.
Yes.
Tell me about your tattoos. What they mean, and show them.
This one is Choose Cruelty Free.
So that's what started your activism?
Yeah, basically. It's a group in Melbourne, choosecrueltyfree.org.au, and they're doing great things for animal testing for cosmetics, and they work with Humane Research Australia quite closely, which is a group that the only group in Australia that perform animal-free tests. So I guess that was a bit of a tribute to them, plus the fact that, like I said, I think it's a great sort of gateway issue to start off on. So when people ask what it is, I can always explain. I give a cruelty-free brochure to every single one of my customers, which is great. Most of them respond very well. On talking about that, I've actually managed to take a couple of my customers to vegan restaurants. So
good.
yeah, I can definitely get through to quite a few of them. And obviously the vegan on the neck, because I'm vegan and I got it somewhere where
somewhere really subtle.
Well. Yeah. And it's definitely started a lot of conversations I would have never had. Even when I've been on building sites with guys driving cement trucks, big burly hairy blokes that are actually really interested in it. Who, when I was before my pre-back injury, or I'd be sprinting around with barrows of cement, and they were just really shocked that I could do that and still be so healthy and fit. And I've got the 269 on my arm, which is a part of the 269 movement.
And what's that about?
It's basically that number was a calf that was rescued from a dairy farm, and it's basically imprinting that probably meaningless number that they gave him, and just showing our solidarity with him, I guess. And there's many more to come. But yes.
Good, that sounds good.
Yes.
Have to keep us informed about that.
Yes, it's on the lowdown for now though.
Yep. And so you're speaking about your job. What's the job that you have here in Brisbane?
At the moment, and will be happily doing for the rest of my life, I design and build cat enclosures. Obviously I've had about 15 years in the construction industry, but had a little slight injury with my back, so I decided to do something lighter. And yeah, I sort of just creeped into this for a few reasons.
And what's a cat enclosure?
It is basically a fence that keeps a cat in, but it utilises a system of marine grade stainless steel fixings and wires and a polyethylene net that will cover an entire area, whether it's inside your house, your backyard. And what it does is it keeps your cat from straying off your property, so it allows your cat to go indoors and outdoors, but to be safe at the same time from fighting and diseases. Feline AIDS is up to 26% in Queensland, which only takes one bite, and they're incredibly destructive to the wildlife. So it's really a few aspects. In many councils around Queensland, it's actually illegal to have your cat run off your property, and a lot of my customers have been fined $500.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, it's something in some cases, half, a third of an enclosure. So yeah, there's a few reasons why I do it, but I really like it because I can do a bit of outreach and getting people's ears. So I mean, they're obviously spending a lot of money on one or two animals, so they've got that compassion there. It just needs to be put across to other animals, pretty much. And
how do you find people react to you? Like you said before, you've taken a few of your clients out to restaurants. How do they feel? How do you get to, like, oh yeah, I'm Dan, I'm going to do this enclosure for you. Oh yeah, let's have lunch together. How do you get from one to
I feel over the years I've become very, from doing animal activism, I've become very good with my words, I guess. When I get fired up and passionate about it, I can really sort of manipulate the conversation and steer it into getting them to ask me what I want to ask rather than me pushing it on them.
Yep.
But the vegan tattoo is a good start because I'll ask why, and I can tell them, and I'll fish and feel around for what they think may ask, and I'll play on that a bit, and I'll bait them in with questions and answers. And I think the big one for that that sort of really wins them over is my energy levels. I can do a really long day and non-stop, fast-paced all day, and yeah, I guess they're sort of shocked that I'm so sort of fit. But yeah, basically I just drop up, down. Basically I just drop a few hints the whole times and give them the area and just tell them bits and pieces and facts, and I mean, because sometimes I'm there from 8 hours to anything up to 3 days, so I sort of plan that into how long I'm going to be, is what I'm going to say as well. So yeah, it's a process.
Yeah,
I'm still working on it.
And you do a lot of activism, especially within Brisbane and the Queensland communities. Dan's got a Green Earth shirt on, and that's my not-for-profit environmental group in Brisbane. You also do stuff with Animal Liberation Queensland and various other groups.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you do, and how would you suggest other people get involved with activism?
Well, I've been a bit quiet for last year. I'm about to get back on board though. But there's a lot of little sneaky things you can do. I think just generally being an activist in like in your everyday life. Too much. Hop down. If you see something you don't think is right, or see something that you think you can get across to people, don't bite your tongue. You know, if someone tells you where to go, whether it be at a shopping centre or anything, it doesn't matter. It far outweighs, you know, the fact that you could plant a decent seed. But yeah, as far as with groups, there's always plenty of protests going on, whether it be letter writing like you guys do, or doing outreach, or there's a vegan group now that do vegan bake sales called Eating for the Animals. That's good because it's sort of showing people, you know, you can even have your sort of nice junky chocolatey food still, and so the food way is a good point to get across. But yeah, I think just really speaking your mind is the best way to be an activist.
And do you have a favourite thing you like to do?
There's a little means of advertising that I like to do. I came across it a while ago. I had the idea where they started putting little A4 advertising in public toilets a while ago,
which may or may not have been done for Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas, or yeah, even just general sort of advertising for these bigger companies that you may be able to place your own advert over. I did one about a year and a half ago, and I went constantly back for the better part of a year, and it remained there.
Which is a long time.
Yeah, and it was basically a butcher holding a lamb, and it said, you pay, she dies, and pretty much go vegan, and just sort of getting people to make that connection. Stay there for a very, very long time. It's a very good place to do it. There's no one in there, you put it straight up. It's very, very easy. There's a lot of things you can do. You can make up your own stickers to maybe put on meat packaging in supermarkets, or animal testing stickers saying this product is tested on animals, or yeah, there's definitely a lot of little sneaky things you can do. I think t-shirts are a great thing to do. You know, you'll be a walking advertisement. So yeah, t-shirts, little things like that, and yeah, just little bits and pieces really.
And you've just married your childhood sweetheart,
Yes.
Georgina, and I was privileged to go to the vegan wedding. Can you tell people about the wedding?
My wife mainly organised it all, even though it was my idea, which was great. But basically, she's very, very eco-friendly, and obviously we're vegan, so we weren't going to serve dairy or meat or eggs at our wedding. So she made the theme an eco-friendly vegan wedding. So from the clothes being bamboo to you know, plates, cutlery, everything, and the food being vegan. We actually found a vegetarian catering company that did an all-vegan feast for us. And even a lot of our friends that were very, very strong omnivores that, you know, barely touch fruit and veggies, we got comments, you know, like best meal I've ever had and things like that. So yeah, it was an amazing meal, and it was a really nice wedding. We had it down at the beach at Stradbroke.
An island in Queensland.
Yeah. It rained all week and cleared up the one day of the wedding, and then rained again the next day. So
yeah, it was good.
It worked out well.
It was a beautiful weather just when you needed it.
Yes.
And you can have a look on the Viva La Vegan website for the interview that I did on my blog with Dan and Georgie about their wedding, and you can see all the lovely photos, and yeah, it was a really good day. And how would you suggest, or what would you suggest to people who want to get involved with being a vegan or being an activist? What would you say is the first thing that they should do?
If you haven't seen anything before, Earthlings is a definite, very, very strong, powerful documentary that will definitely kickstart you on your way. But there's, especially in Brisbane now, there's a lot of vegan restaurants popping up, so just go out and try the food and try and meet new people. Everyone's always very willing to help, sort of, you know, help you out with diet and lifestyle changes and things like that. There's vegan mentors out there, you know, the 30-day vegan challenge. So I think it's very easy to get started in because everyone is so willing to help, and they're not going to charge you anything for it, you know. There's just that satisfaction of wanting to get other people to sort of realise how good the lifestyle is. But yeah, I'd probably, you know, you can contact your animal rights groups and things like that and see what they're doing. There's a lot of vegan meetups where people just go and get vegan food and just go and meet like-minded people.
And if I'd asked you this 10 years ago, do you think you would have had similar sort of answers? Or?
No, not at all.
Why not?
I was a very strong fisherman. I pretty much just ate meat. I never ate veggies, and you know, I was sick pretty much every week, but I was just completely against it. I remember, well, my sister's been vegetarian since she was about 6 and went vegan a few years later, and she's been on the path for 20 years or so. And I remember always poking fun at her my whole childhood. You know, even into my adult years, I was always making fun of her. So
poor Rebecca.
yes. But yeah, now I'm on board with her, so it definitely wouldn't have been the same answer.
And we've got some of your rescue friends all around us.
Yes.
What are their names?
It's getting very confusing. This is Hagrid and Cody. They're from a shelter. This little one is a bolter, and she escaped from her horrible family. I managed to grab her just before she got hit by a car. Her hair was right down to the ground, even on her feet. You know, her hair was right spread out. She was covered in really thick dreadlocks. It took me a good 4 hours to cut them out and completely shave her. She had nests of fleas on her, no ID, she just smelled, and she was just a very sort of shy, timid, scared dog, and after about 3 days she just completely changed personalities.
Wow.
And yeah, they pretty much won't get me back. I found out who had her, but the vet said the only way she could have gotten in that state is she would have been homeless for at least a month. So that's how neglected she was. And now she's a little daddy's girl.
And you have some other animals here as well. What other animals have you rescued?
We've got another 2 dogs downstairs. We have 6 cats. 2 of them were store-bought many years ago, which we don't support or believe in now. One of our rescue cats had a pretty nice story. We actually found her on a main industrial road, and she was just sort of dragging herself on the ground, and when I just saw her, pulled over, grabbed her and took her home, and she couldn't stand, walk. She was just malnourished, literally just bone, couldn't sit. Took her to the vet. They wanted to put her down, and my missus within an hour had already become attached to her. So we pretty much hand fed her and tried and got her muscles working over about 2 or 3 months at least. She had no bowel control or anything, and after about 3 months she completely came good, and she's such an affectionate cat. Very affectionate.
And some feathered friends as well? Yes,
haven't had them too long. I found a chicken, it might be a rooster, hopefully not, in an industrial area. I believe someone dumped her because they might have thought she she was a he. That could be from the egg hatching school program, I would say. And it took me about an hour to catch her, and then I ended up getting another 2 rescue friends, her, and they picked and bullied on her for about 2 weeks. And then I got hold of a friend who told me about some ducks that were in cold. So we saved 6, gave 4 to a friend, and we've got 2 Australian miniature ducks, or poor ducks, now out in the backyard. So yeah, it's a full house.
Yes, so quite a few animals.
Yes. It's our pack.
Yeah. And they would keep you entertained at least, wouldn't they?
Yes.
All the time.
Entertained, sometimes annoyed.
Yeah.
Most of the time entertained. But there's always some little funny battle going on, or some weird play fighting.
Talking about getting annoyed, how have you changed over the years with your, how you would relate to people in the past or to now?
I'm slowly getting better. It's taking a while. I've always been a hothead. But yeah, I think sort of I only really used to care about myself. It's very selfish, and I'm definitely a lot more hot-headed. But yeah, I'm definitely sort of changing. I'm trying hard to become compassionate to humans as well. It's just a bit hard sometimes with people being very ignorant and not wanting to listen or see what's going on.
And would you contribute the fact that you're not drinking or smoking or doing any drugs or anything like that now to helping with that?
Yeah, it's definitely a big part. Like 19 months ago, I had no job. I literally had no possessions. I noticed because I split with my partner for a bit, and when she moved out, there was nothing in the house. I owned nothing. Everything had either been pawned to buy probably pot or smoke a lot of, but used to do a lot of other drugs, and even a lot of my stuff I pawned for alcohol. My drinking problem was that bad. But yeah, I pretty much had nothing, so I've completely turned, just from not drinking, it's completely changed my lifestyle. I've got my own business, my own car now. It's just literally changed so much. Going sober and straight just made me do a 180. Yeah, just gave life meaning in this.
That's good.
Yes.
And meaning to all the animal friends as well.
Definitely. I think when I first quit, that's what helped me a lot. I got very into animal rights when I quit, and gave me a bit of a purpose. But I think you really need to fill your time in 100% if you do have a problem with it. You need to be completely focused on doing something 24/7 until pretty much the time you go to sleep. Something positive.
So instead of thinking about alcohol or something, you're thinking about something else. Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
gardening and veggie gardening was a great thing for me to do. That's why I put a lot of my energy into it, and plus you can see something for your assets, like something positive coming out of it, and also probably setting up my business. Even now it's established, I'm up to 10, 11 some nights, but I got 100% threw myself into that. All my focus, all my energy, and I didn't have the energy or the time to think about drinking. And that sort of held off thinking about it and the cravings, so they'll still always be there. I still pretty much battle it daily, think about it, gets emotional sometimes, but yeah, I think you pretty much need a hobby, something to keep your mind free. Exercise definitely helps. I started running when I quit, and just sort of pumped all the toxins out of my body by doing that, and yeah, you need to want to do it. You can't say you're going to try and then try and fight it. If you want it and you want it strong enough, it will just happen. But you have to convince yourself. I think first you have to deprogram yourself to teach yourself that you do want it, and just be very controlling the negative and positive thoughts. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what helped me get through.
And how would you suggest if someone else wanted to do that? Just similar sort of thing? Find a hobby?
Yeah, definitely. Just find a hobby, exercise. I personally didn't go to AA, but I've heard it's very good. and yeah, just really occupy your mind. But yeah, the biggest part I found a few months before it, I would really hate the fact that I was doing it. I wouldn't see a drink or a cigarette as a reward, but more of a negative. Then I started to really dislike what I was doing, which led obviously to me not wanting to do it. So I think it's about really deprogramming your thoughts and how you think about it too, to sort of create that sort of want for you to want to do it.
And how would you like to see the vegan movement in 5 years' time?
Expanding. I think it's good now that things like even meat-free Mondays, and I think that has been brought into some schools and places like that. I think it's great that younger generations are more open to it now and more learning about it now. That facts are becoming, things are becoming made aware of nutrition and things like that. There's Animalia that I do with Jodie Ruckley, and we go around and and Renard Colpin, and we go around and do school presentations. We've only done one so far, and it was about factory farming for pigs, and we all dressed up and we went through what pigs like to do and what they don't do and what's happening to them now. And I think things like that in school are great, because I think we need to sort of push the next generation to bring it through and maybe get to them before TV and society and their
That's
parents
the
and everyone has got to them. But yeah, it's good to see the young ones bringing it through, but I think maybe just getting across, I think, to the younger generation to help bring it through and expand it a bit, and hopefully there'll be a lot more places to eat and things to buy that are vegan. And
Sounds good.
Yes.
Well, thank you for your time, Dan. If
No
anyone
worries.
needs a cat enclosure in Queensland at the
Yes.
moment, you never know where it might go later, but check out Dan's website, and thank you. See vivalavegan.net for more information.
Excellent.